views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Arizona, this is Brother Mike. I'm in Phoenix. I'm back. Of course I'm back. HardcoreChristianity.com. Welcome to the program. Today's Bible study, the celebrity Christian plague sweeping America. Hey, call somebody quickly and tell them the radio program's on. Another controversial program ready to go for you, but what makes them all controversial is they are true. This is Brother Mike. I am the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center in Central Phoenix, 150th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road, in the heart of Maricopa County, Arizona. HardcoreChristianity.com is the website. It's a new one, by the way. Friday nights, Thursday nights, we have live services. 7 p.m. Pacific time. Both of them broadcast on our YouTube teaching channel worldwide. And we have preaching, teaching, healing, and deliverance at every service. I teach on our Friday night service. On Facebook, we have two groups, Hardcore Christianity and Blessings. Blessings contains many of the miracles that you've seen at the Arizona Deliverance Center. Sometimes I post them. You can sign up for our free seminar. You can contact Sister Karen if you're moving to the Phoenix area to join the ministry. She'll find you a place to rent or a new home to buy. She loves to work with born-again Christians. Thank you, as usual, for sending us a donation on our PayPal donation page. We're so grateful for that. You've been supporting us for 16 years. We have a loyal number of followers, and you are investing in good ground in this ministry. I do not take a salary for my ministry. I've been working for 16 years for free. May God richly bless you. Thank you for your prayers. The celebrity Christian plague continues to roll through America. I've had numerous radio programs telling you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And we don't care who likes it. I've always told you that oxymorons consist of politicians who are Christians. A Christian politician is an oxymoron. That creature does not exist. In addition, there's no such thing as a Christian celebrity. It's an oxymoron. It does not exist. These people are demonic plants set up by Satan through good works and phony righteousness, and then later on they fall, and it's an embarrassment to Christ. What do all these names have in common? I'll read them off to you real quickly. Carrie Underwood, Faith Hill, Justin Bieber, Kathy Lee Gifford, Ryan Gosling, Olivia Newton-John, Nicole Kickman, Reba McEntire, MC Hammer, Garth Brooks, Jeff Foxworthy, Marie Osmond, Serena Williams, Gary Busey, and our own Alice Cooper in Phoenix. What do all these people have in common? They all claim to be Christians. What are they all related to? The oxymoron that there are such things as true born-again Christian celebrities. They do not exist. We just got hit with Justin Bieber last year. He's now supposedly converted. He'll be in a scandal before you know it. The next one who is about to be converted, I want to warn you about before it happens, is Katy Perry. Here's what happens. People like Whitney Houston and Katy Perry grow up in church, and they are given wonderful gifts by God. Katy Perry is a shockingly talented entertainer, singer, performer, whatever they are. Whitney Houston was probably the greatest singer that ever lived. But all those gifts that Katy and Whitney had were given to them by God, and they used to sing for His glory. They grew up in church singing praises to the Lord. Well, the demons took Whitney Houston and gave her everything she ever wanted, and then gave her everything she didn't want. You see, the devil will give you everything you want, and then you got to give him everything he wants. Whitney Houston gave him her life and died and went to hell as a drug addict. Katy Perry is next on the list. She got all kinds of gifts from God, enormous talent, incredible singing skills, all kinds of artistic knowledge and capability. She grew up in church singing for the Lord. The demons took her, and she became possessed by demons and living in sin. But guess what? You guessed it, the demons are going to bring her back now to Christianity, which was their ultimate goal in the first place. Their goal in the first place was get them to backslide and leave Christianity, and then their other goal is to bring them back to it. Here's the article in the paper. Quote, several years ago, pop singer Katy Perry got the name Jesus tattooed on her wrist, reminding her whenever she played a guitar, she could return to the Christian faith in which her parents raised her. Now it seems the, quote, I Kissed a Girl songwriter could be interested in rekindling that faith. In an interview with Vogue Australia, Perry said her mother, an evangelist, has faithfully prayed that she would one day come back to God, unquote. After meeting Pope Francis, the famed singer might be moving in that direction. Quote, I'm such a big fan of Pope Francis, Perry said. It's a combination of compassion, humility, sternness, and refusal. He is a rebel for Jesus. All right, good, Katie. Boy, you summed that up real well. You're on top of that. Quote, Perry traveled to Vatican City where their boyfriend, actor Orlando Bloom, that's another story, and mother in late April to meet the 81-year-old pontiff. Well, you got to be an important person to meet the pontiff. She was in Rome at the time to speak about meditation at an event hosted by the Catholic Church. Now in her 30s, the, quote, Roar singer said she's focusing more on spirituality and heart goodness. Perry told Katie Couric in 2009 that her Jesus tattoo stares right back at me, she said, as a reminder of her Christian roots. Quote, I knew I wanted this on me because no matter how much changes around me or how much I change, there's not really an eraser for this, she said. Adding, quote, it stares right back at me. It's like a reminder you came from this and you can always go back to it. Perry has waffled back and forth over her faith. Over the Easter weekend in April, she posted a rainbow-washed photo of her Jesus tattoo on Instagram with the caption, quote, my brokenness plus God's divinity equals my wholeness. Perry foreshadowed her revived religious beliefs during the interview with Glamour magazine published in February. At the time, the performer said she was preparing to do a big soul overhaul very soon. Quote, I want to grow into becoming an adult, she explained. I'm preparing myself for having a family of my own someday. And that's the thing. I want to do a little bit more soul surgery before I have a family of my own. Referencing her real name, Perry added, if I want to have that true balance, I have to step into being Catherine Hudson. Wow, unbelievable, folks. I've done many radio shows on these phony celebrities. This is all a satanic trick. In Corinthians and Galatians, Jesus, there's a real Jesus and there's a phony Jesus. Paul talked about it. There's a real gospel, there's a fake gospel. There's a real Holy Spirit, and then there's another spirit. Okay, this other spirit that Paul was talking about in Corinthians is this powerful worldwide religious spirit that manufactured all the world's religions. This other spirit manufactured Catholicism, Orthodox, all the church denominations, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, on and on it goes forever and ever. This other spirit is the most powerful demon in the entire world. And he also manufactures and creates these celebrity Christians who spout spiritual gobbledygook like I've just been reading to you now in this radio program. Katy Perry has absolutely no idea that she's been taken by an entity living in her head, and she's completely deceived. She's going to come back to God and do some form of fake Christianity like all the other celebrities, and then she will live with one foot in sin and one foot in the church. He said in the article, quote, I do believe in something much bigger than me, and I call that God for me. I know that God has his hand on me, and I know sometimes I go through things and they're just too intense and I can't handle them. And then he swoops in and shows me that it's his grace that brings me through it. Unquote. Oh, that's heartwarming. Well, that touching is what it is. Touching. Friends, you don't get it, do you? This other spirit, this monstrous familiar spirit who runs all the world's religion, is the most powerful demon in all the world. And this spirit causes religious demons to sweep across America, turning people into fake Christians. How does he do it? By having them do good things. Demons can't fool Christians by doing wicked things. Okay? The demon can't come to a Christian and say, "Hey, Christian, come here for a second. You know what would be good? Why don't you open up a whorehouse? Yeah, that'll be a comfort to people who are lonely." They won't come to you like that. They'll come with something good. They'll tell you, "Hey, why don't you feed the homeless? Why don't you clothe the homeless? Why don't you help slave traffickers? Get these poor children out of sex slavery. Why don't you do something good for the world? Yeah, why don't you develop a new method of meditation to help calm them down?" These familiar spirits come up with good religious concepts. That's how they get in. They don't get in by coming up with something horrible. They know that these born-again Christians, these do-gooders, the people that want to soothe their conscience by doing good works and developing some kind of self-righteousness, something they can look to and say, "Hey, I'm not totally a bad person. Here's Katy Perry, she takes drugs, she's a chronic adulterer, she's been in all kinds of occult witchcraft, all this other stuff, and these things are starting to take their toll on her. They're starting to wear her out, just like they did Whitney Houston." The demons always want to get paid if they give you fame and fortune. Fame and fortune is a curse from Satan. And he will come back to get paid after he gives it to you. The devil will always make you pay for his gifts. The gifts of God are pure. They have no sorrow with them. Satan's fame and fortune and the drugs and the sex and whatever you want, whatever you think you need to have, he'll give it to you. But then you got to give him what he thinks he needs to have. And that's your peace of life. He wants your happiness. He wants your joy. He wants your spirituality. And in the end, when you cross over to the other side, he will steal your soul.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.